Welcome back to My Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm Dear Darling, and shall we see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhollow today. I almost forgot the name of our island, which you would have thought I'd not forget after. Are we nearly at 400 episodes? I don't even know. Who knows anymore? This is my daily talk about whatever I've been thinking about recently for half an hour, sort of thing. So yeah, actually the thing I want to talk about is a game called Balan Wonderworld, not Wonderland as I thought it was called, which there's a lot of interesting story behind this, as it turns out. But hold on. Hello everyone, and on Fawnhallow, it's 5:09 PM on Monday, April 12th, 2021. Now for to speak of today, something. We already know our visitor for today is Leif, so we'll just go about our usual business. But yeah, Balan Wonderland is, sorry, not Wonderland, it's Wonderworld. I don't know why they didn't go Balan Wonderland, because I feel like that sounds a bit better than Balan Wonderworld, but still, their choice is their choice. It's a game from Square Enix, and I believe the director of the game is the person who created Sonic Adventure 1, 2, and 3, or directed that. Sorry. Hey dear, I went back to my hometown to see some pizza from the old days, for I don't remember them being as way wilder than they are now, but I guess I set it down too, huh? Time will do that to you. Thinking about life, Mira. I think we've had that exact letter from Flo before. Yeah, from Square Enix, and the person who directed it. I did not expect Amelia to be playing. That's so rare. But she looks happy. Square Enix, director, Sonic Adventure 1, 2, 3, so it was it's been a game that was hyped up for quite a while, because this is either like his first game in a while, or like first game in a while. I can't remember the exact specifics surrounding it, but people were eagerly anticipating it. Square Enix were pushing it a lot. There was a lot of promotion stuff coming out for it, and people were like, oh, let's see what this guy can do, because he, I don't know, I feel like he directed a lot of RPGs or something. KK Jazz, no! Are you serious? I actually did a KK Slider song yesterday, and I did KK Jazz. That's the one song I did. If I did any of the others, I could have got KK Jazz on today. I can't believe it. Look, you can see it. Here's KK Jazz, sitting in my inventory. Oh well. So yeah, it's a game that was eagerly anticipated. It was, I don't know, people knew it was going to be a 3D platforming action adventure, so think of things like Banjo-Kazooie, Spyro, some of the older like N64 era or GameCube era Mario games, those 3D sort of platformers, which is, you know, it's a bit of a retro genre now, which is not nearly as popular as it used to be. Oh yeah, I forgot those Shooting Stars last night, so I did pick up all of those, or did wish on some of those. So yeah, and then like, I don't know, I didn't really keep up with the teasers of that sort of thing. It was just something I heard about vaguely, and I was like, oh, seems like it might be interesting, whatever. Anyway, people were interested in it, and then a demo came out for it, and it sucked, apparently. The demo was like real bad. Like, not good. No. Well, I guess we'll go into the game later on why it's not good, but well, I suppose you can go look up a review for yourself, but it was not good. Well, people are like, So it's like, I wonder if they can get this fixed in time for when it's actually released in whatever amount of time, and, you know, that's what's starting to happen. I think it came out like a week or two ago. I can't remember. And interestingly enough, review copies were not given out early to regular reviewers, you know, like IGN, Destructoid, I guess. Easy Access, is that my name? I forget my name, but still. Which is normally, if you don't know, it's normally quite a typical thing for video games. If they want to be hyped up, they give reviewers early copies, and then, you know, have like an embargo where they can't say anything about it until that embargo is lifted, and then they can, so the reviewers can come out day one with their full reviews. And I remember seeing this because I saw this was headline on like a Reddit thread or something, where the IGN review was like, okay, so we weren't given like early review copies. 2 hours in, I can say this game sucks. And I remember reading that, being like, oh, what's this game? Balan Wonderworld? And I was like, oh yeah, it's that old like Square Enix game that was hyped up and coming out for a while, and well, I was like, alright, apparently it's terrible. And then, you know, reviews come out. I think it got like a 4.5 and 4s all around or something for the game, even lower. Interestingly enough, on Metacritic it's been flooded. I'm not sure if it still has been, but it was flooded by a load of user reviews, copy-pasted user reviews, giving it 10 stars. So it's sort of like a scenario where I think we knew the game was kind of bad, but they like don't want to admit that or something. Or I don't know, maybe it's someone up in the game developers like, we need more time to make this better, and the business people are like, no, you're going to get this out by this date. They're like, okay, we're just going to have to super push out everything. But even then, there's still a lot of game design, like ideas and concepts which are very strangely chosen of a game. So there's a lot to talk about within it. Bear in mind, I've never played this game. I don't own the game. I'm not affiliated with it in any way. So if you want the truest reviews, I suppose you should go to review websites. But I'm just going to use this as background conversation fodder for today's Animal Crossing episode, because it's like I knew about it when it was first released, and I heard it was bad. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. But it was only recently, Video Game Donkey made a video about it, and I was curious about it. I was like, oh yeah, I remember this game. There's a bit of a hubbub about it. Let's watch this video. And I watched this video, and then some of the things which happened in the game just made me go, what? Oh, Flip's photo, lovely. I'd be like, what? Why is this? How has this come to be? It just seems so overly ridiculous. So I don't know. You should go Google it for yourself. But Balan Wonderworld has it's an interesting art style. I'm not going to say it's a bad art style necessarily. It's very reminiscent of like much more early, like 2000s sort of games. Like some very sort of that quirky, overly theatrical, strange sort of art style. Very cartoony. And the in-game graphics, I'm going to be honest, they do kind of look like they're from the GameCube era, to be honest. But they have animated cutscenes, which are actually pretty nice to look at, to be honest. They seem well animated. They seem charismatic enough. And to be honest, a lot of the designs... This is a complicated part, I think, because I don't think the designs are necessarily bad. In the sense that visually, they're strange. Mind you, they're very strange, a lot of them. But they're not bad, because I think if a game had good gameplay and, you know, people actually liked it and that sort of thing, people would look at the game and be like, oh, the game's got some weird designs, but it's got a strange charm and appeal to it with its quirkiness, which I think is probably what they were trying to go for, but it kind of fell flat because the fact that the game is not very good, you know, with the association of it, it's like, now the designs look bad. The sort of negative association with it becomes sort of downward spiral of opinion on it. I don't know if that's actually how things work or not, but that's just my postulating. So yeah, anyway, with Dark Cosmos Crown, we don't have that one yet, I don't think. Yes, it's got a very simplistic, cartoony style, and I think simplicity is probably the name of a game when it came to Balan Wonderworld. Is it? You want one of these? Sure. How much? I don't know what you want, but go ahead and buy it. Because it's very simplistic art style, I think I said, but it's very kid friendly, I suppose. Honestly, I wonder if it was meant to be a kid's game. Which, I don't know, opens it up to some different sort of levels of scrutiny, because a kid's game can still be a good game, to be honest. And just because it's a kid's game doesn't mean it needs to be reduced down or anything, but it does give it an excuse for if things like the story can be much simpler, or the art style, or perhaps the difficulty not as high. Yeah, they decided to simplify a lot of things in the game, which is, you know, fair enough. If they're going for accessibility reach, then honestly seems like a good idea. They simplified things a lot, because if you don't know, it's an action adventure platformer, okay, fair enough, but it's a sort of in the style of Mario Odyssey, which if you don't know, it's if you've ever played Kirby, it's like that sort of thing. You basically have like a huge swath of power-ups to interact and find secrets around the level with, which is fair enough. So the idea being you sort of like hop around with like once you hop around the level, when like one costume you switch to another costume to find like a hidden secret. Are these large crystals? These are large star fragments. What astrological sign are we in right now? April. Is that Taurus? Are we not in Taurus yet? No, I think we're still in Aries. Oh yeah, Celeste was not here last night. I checked for her, could not find her, so yeah. But they simplified things a lot. And by a lot, I mean there's only one button basically in the game. I mean, you got your camera movement and you got your regular movement and the joysticks, okay, fair enough. But then to do anything, you just press one button, like apparently the A, B, X, Y, both bumpers and triggers, maybe not both bumpers and triggers, maybe just the triggers, do the same thing, and that's jump or use your ability as whatever costume you are at the moment. Which is like, okay, that could be fair enough. Restriction can breed creativity, I think, and especially when it comes to video games and that sort of thing. Oh, we need to customize a shovel, and then we'll hit the rocks. But the thing is, one downside of that game is, wait, we can customize photos? What? Actually, I feel like I had that discovery before, and I just forgot about it. the thing is, it's a platformer, so movement is a huge part of the game, isn't it? The fact that there's only one button for it means that if you have a costume that does anything but jump, you're going to have to get rid of it. Basically, every time you wear a costume, you can no longer jump. You can only use the costume special power, which seems like a very strange decision to have in a 3D action platformer. Which is, okay, so that's like sort of strike number one. Strike number two is the costumes are they range from being okay to completely useless. And they're very strangely designed in the first place, I suppose. There's huge amounts of overlap apparently between lots of them. Like there's like I saw a video of like that went through all of them. There's like 5 of them that give you some sort of double jump. And apparently the most notorious example is in one level. It's a water themed level. You get a jellyfish costume to swim through like water currents. It's like, okay, cool. And then about 10 minutes later, you get a dolphin costume, which allows you to swim through water currents, but also allows you to jump out of water currents. So the jellyfish is now a pointless costume. It's just there. There's no difference between them. So that's sort of like power creep, I suppose. A very, very swift power creep. Yeah, so I'm trying to think what else there is. But there's just so much to talk about the game. You should really go watch a review on it. It's a catastrophe. Which I feel bad for saying, because I don't know if that's something because of designer's fault. Maybe it was because of the big wigs in business forcing like strict deadlines which could not be stuck to or unreasonable. But yeah, so yeah, the costumes and cosmetics, and the thing is that there's like 80 different costumes or something. So it's a sort of thing where the ocean is like a mile wide but about an inch deep, and the levels aren't particularly well designed around the costumes for a lot of times, what I hear. And a lot of them are very strange. Like one of them is like a vacuum cleaner, and there's another version of a vacuum cleaner, I think. Now these strange quirky thematics I think could actually work well if, you know, the game itself was decent, because apparently like I'm not going to talk about the gameplay much because I haven't actually seen much of it myself. Apparently it's overly simplistic, it feels weird, and you know, it's not very creative. The levels aren't creatively designed from a gameplay perspective, but aesthetically it's actually quite interesting, because each of these, there's 12 different worlds, and they're each but I should tell you about the story, which is absolutely nonsensical in its own right, because you know, action app platformers, the story's not the most important part, to be honest. It's more about the gameplay controls, but they really reduced down the story in this game. I don't even know what we should do for this last half an hour. Or sorry, these last like 18 minutes of the video. Because I just want to talk about, I don't know, maybe we'll just go like fishing or something. See what fish we can catch for CJ when he comes around. So we'll customise our fishing pole and just do that. The story is very stripped down. There's basically like no dialogue in any of the cutscenes. So from what I can gather, the story goes, you play as this main character, this guy. He likes to dance, and then he's sad, so he follows this mysterious pet into like a dark alley, and then finds Balan, who's this mystical creature from like another dimension who whisks him away to another world to help people or something. Or if you play as a girl, you're like some rich girl in a rich mansion, and she's also sad for some reason. It's not explained particularly well, if at all, and I would say it's not at all explained. But there's some vague idea of basically they're unsatisfied with their life, and they don't know what to do about it, I guess. And then Balan's being like, hey, why don't we help make other people's lives better? It's like, okay, that seems like good in concept, good so far. Don't have any songs we have KK Jazz? Are you kidding me? I thought I checked. We have KK Jazz. You know, this calls for me to check if we've actually got the other ones or not. This entire time. Safari and Tango. We don't have Safari or Tango, do we? Safari, no. Tango, the guilty tango. Well, does not look like it in my place. No, okay, well. Good job, me. That's all I can really say to that. Yeah, anyway. So you get to help out these 12 different people. This is perhaps one of the most bizarre decisions, I think, because you just get whisked into one of these 12 worlds, which is, you know, fair enough. That's kind of par for the course. But you're kind of for an action adventure platformer, but or any video game really, you're not given any context. You're just sort of dropped into this random world. And you're like dropped into this third world. It seems to be like a farming themed world, and there's a lot of tornadoes everywhere, and there's this giant farmer just sitting there staring at you, and you're just not like, what? What's the explanation for this? There's no explanation. They never give you any reason for what you're doing. It's just this world, and in fact, they don't even tell you what this world is. When they tell you what this world is there's a boss fight at the end of each world, apparently. They show a cutscene about the character you're trying to help before the boss fight. When you fight the boss, and when you defeat the boss, they show the resolution to the boss fight. Or the character's story afterwards, which is strange. Like, you would have thought you'd wanted to show that intro cutscene to the character at the start of a world to give you context for this entire thing, or like, who are you trying to help, what are you doing, why is the world this weird mishmash of themes which don't really make sense on first viewing, and then you get something to work for. I mean, you defeat the boss and be like, oh, now you resolved their problem. Instead, it's resolved in about a space of about 5 minutes, it seems. And it's just very confusing, and you're sort of trying to retroactively give any context to the things you've already seen and have been puzzling over, which is obviously not the correct time to give context to. So yeah, we're just going to do some fishing. But the weirdest thing about it is these stories, they're not like high-level stories. They're not like, you're not going to put them on the level like Shawshank Redemption or The Godfather or anything. They're very basic stories, but suitable for children, easy to digest, that sort of thing. Simplistic, I suppose. And they're actually, kind of endearing. We've got a nice sort of charm to them. We all go along lines of like this one, like an NPC who's facing some sort of trouble and exploring some sort of themes that's making my life difficult. And then, you face their fears and help them get over it, and it was resolved in some way. Like the first one is a farmer who's working really hard on his crop harvest, and then like a tornado comes and it destroys all his hard work, and he's like devastated obviously by it, and it's exploring a theme of losing everything that you've worked for, and stuff like that, destruction and feeling hopelessness and that sort of thing. And then you defeat the boss, and it comes to a resolution that he finds something which survived a tornado, and he's like, this is what I was working towards, even though it's not exactly what I expected, that sort of thing. The fact that I worked as hard as my labour results are still here, whether or not the tornado destroyed him in the end, I suppose. I mean, I guess that kind of sidesteps the fact that, he has no harvest, and, how is he going to pay his mortgage and that sort of thing, but still. You don't need to think about that in a kid's game. But why put the intro cutscene right before the boss fight and then the conclusion immediately after it? And that's not even the weirdest part. But how I mentioned, just like for a split second, oh yeah, the main character is a dancer or something. Like dances on the street. Yeah, apparently that's now a central core part of a game, because once you defeat the boss, there's an ending cutscene, like a chapter end cutscene, I suppose, where it's meant to round things up, and it is so over the top, like theatrical, bizarre. It's like a trip, basically, looking at it, because what happens is the character and the NPC you're trying to help, the farmer, for example, in World 1, they just slowly walk up to each other, like emotional music is playing, and we get to the middle, and then suddenly, like, slows down, and bam, the music just kicks in, like all the NPCs you've seen around the level, oh my gosh, we need to get onto that as well, who are costumes, basically. They're all there, and then you just do this huge dance number, this really out of character, extraordinarily happy, trippy dance number, and then, like, all the NPCs are flying about on platforms, there's random cut-ins and cutscenes, and then, like, the characters are, like, doing flips, like this, like, 50-year-old, like, farmer, whatever, he's, like, getting down with it. He's doing, like, a round-off or something, and it's just like, what is going on? And then, like, breakdancing in the middle, and then it's, like, ends like a big musical number, and you watch it, and you're like, what? This seems very strangely out of... not out of character, I would say, because the entire game seems to go around like, ooh, so quirky. Very strange sort of vibe, but it's so weird. You can look it up. Like, if you're gonna look up anything, look up this Balan Wonderworld dance number or something. It's so strange. And if anything, does very well being reminiscent of like early 2000s sort of games, I guess. And I think from those dance cutscenes, you can sort of see where Balan Wonderworld is trying to go with it. Or the sort of game is trying to... Whoa! But I think I've already got an oarfish now I think about it. Or sort of direction is trying to go, but it just misses the mark by a lot. It's so strange. Anyway, the NPC characters, the thing I want to say is also they do populate the worlds of NPC characters. The thing is, the NPC characters, the only thing they do is dance. Like they all do the same dance. I don't know why I did that. They all do the same singular dance, which has been like, you know, copy pasted onto each of their models. And for some reason, every single time you walk up to them, they just fade away. You can't talk to them, you can't interact with them. They don't like look at you or anything. They just, you get into like a meter away from them, and they fade away into nothingness. It's like, what? And the amusing thing is, while this game is so bright and cheerful, colourful, and the designs are all like, you know, over the toply like things in a child's imagination, it gives a really weird, eerie, unnerving vibe to it. Something like there's something sinister going on, which I don't think there is, mind you, from what I could tell from the cutscenes and that sort of thing. But it's just, it feels weird. It feels like there's some ulterior thing going on, but it's so brightly colourful and all that sort of thing. Anyway, they also had like some of their own controversies, like but the game itself is very nauseating to play. It's very easy to get motion sickness from, because like the ground like wobbles and it becomes incredibly wavy as you walk around it. But they had a bug in like the first day where there's a ridiculous amount of flashing lights or whatever. So, you know, if you're prone to epilepsy, definitely do not play this game or look up any of the cutscenes. To be fair, cutscenes I've seen didn't have anything. The cutscenes were actually very nice. They're full of charm. The characters were, you know, amusing. And I think, like, it almost makes me angry. Not angry. I'm not like staying up at night being like, oh, I can't believe Balan Wonderworld was such a bad game, or I'm losing sleep over this. No, just sort of like it seems like a missed opportunity, because it seems like there's a heart of a charming game there. Because the characters and the conceptual designs, I suppose, behind the stages are not terrible, which is perhaps not really what you want to say, but they seem almost good in concept, but not amazingly executed. Like, I think I still got it open. Yeah, because the Balan Wonderworld website's actually quite nice. They got all the chapters like listed out here, and they got like movie posters of NPCs. Like, the first one is the man who rages against a storm. It's a farmer, you know, that sort of thing. I already talked about that one. The next one's actually kind of weird. It's a dolphin. It's the dolphin and the diver. So you've all got these, like, I guess it's meant to feel like it's you're hopping into movie sets or something like that. I don't know. But it's a girl. Oh, we should go up the floor and try and get some of the rarer fish as to give to Flick, right? Not Flick, CJ. As a girl, she likes to dive with dolphins, and then suddenly her dolphin like tries to kill her by knocking away her air tank, and she gets hospitalized. She nearly dies, and then she becomes afraid of the ocean. You know, and it's meant to explore the, I suppose, a feeling of, you know, fearing and loathing something that you used to love, and the trauma that comes with it, I suppose. And then you defeat the boss, and then suddenly it's like, oh, the ocean. Sorry, not the ocean, but the dolphin feels bad about it, I guess. And, you know, she smiles and waves, which is like, I don't know if that's really a resolution, nor I don't know really how your character helped in any aspect. Not sure why. I guess you can be like, defeating the boss was like metaphorically defeating. Oh no, I just tried to resize the website and it's messed up. It was like metaphorically defeating her own fears and worries, and allowed her to revisit the place that she once feared or whatever, and allowed her to move past it, that sort of thing. I didn't realise jumping scared people away. So that one's a bit of a strange one. The next one's quite fine. It's like a shy girl, she loves bugs, but then she's feeling like all lonely and dejected because no one else likes bugs, and, you know, no one wants to speak to her. And then the conclusion afterwards is she's summoned up with courage to try and show some interesting bugs, and we like show her a butterfly. That sort of thing. It's got some like butterfly motifs with her like growing wings or something in her final cutscene. It's all very cute. And you can start to see like, this is like, it's not like amazingly breathtaking or anything. It's not like on level Disney or Pixar, but it's starting to sort of, why is a river flowing this way? What? You know there's a river like over here? Game? Well, so there's a fish here, but I can't see it, so we're just gonna not catch it. About, you know, overcoming her shyness and being able to share what she loves of other people and not feeling ridiculed by that sort of thing. So yeah, you can start to see how these are almost like Pixar shorts, where there seems like there's something nice going on here. I'll give you a short rundown of some of others. Like, the fourth one is this kid, he's trying to build a flying machine, and it goes really wrong at one point, and, you know, he basically gives up. And then he builds it in the end. There's going to be like casual feel-good stories. There's another one, there's a lady, she loves the environment and birds, and then like an industry takes over and they cut down all the trees and replace it with like civilization, and all the birds are gone, and then The conclusion is she later works together with the people to build a suitable habitat for both humans and the birds. Oh, this next one's actually, like, I think the best one. It's this girl, the girl and the kitten, as it's called. This girl has a pet cat. This young girl has a pet cat, and she loves and dotes on them a lot and that sort of thing. And then, unfortunately, accidentally, the kitten gets hit in a roadside accident because, I don't know, or at least it's implied that she is. And then, you know, the girl blames herself. She's like, oh, and there's a strong thematic of like traffic lights and theming throughout the level, from what I can tell, and crosswalks and that sort of thing, which makes sense because, you know, she's traumatized by that sort of thing, losing basically her best friend. And there's a lot of traffic light themes because it's like, oh, what if only that light was red instead of green? Maybe the kitten could have survived. I don't really understand the conclusion because it seems like she actually did turn back time. Oh yeah, there's like a time theming as well. Like one of her special powers is like a rabbit which can turn back time, which I was like, oh, you see, but there's a start of like the puzzle pieces of mathematics which make it interesting. Just the execution is a bit strange. And then she like rescues the kitten again or something like that. I don't know. The next one's a bit weird. It's like a former chess champion who was past his prime and then starts raging at things and people and is angry about it. He's stuck in the past. That's probably a good way to put it. That's what the title of the thing is. He can't move past. He can't like reconcile the fact that he's past his glory days, I suppose. The next one is about this next one. Like some of them have some randomly dark themes, but you know they're presented in a very light-mannered way. It seemed like there's this girl and she has either a twin sister or something who's married someone, and then she herself has a boyfriend. And then suddenly, inexplicably, like, her sister and presumably the sister's either boyfriend or husband, and don't know what they are at that point, I assume, pass away or something. And I don't know if that's literally what happens or if it's meant to be metaphorical, because the whole theming is because the boyfriend proposed to her, and, like, I guess her fiance's now, and she's scared to commit to the relationship, that sort of thing. That's why the chapter's called The Lady who's too scared to love, so she closes herself off with like an not iron heart, an icy heart, a frozen heart, that sort of thing. She's scared of that love and commitment. I was like, oh, interesting. It's quite dark, I suppose, but you only see the darkness for a second. Like blink and you'll miss it. You see like the two gravestones of a deceased sister, that sort of thing. Although they seem to have a lot of funeral like theming and that sort of thing, because in the cutscene she was like in an ice coffin or that sort of thing, like covered in roses, if I might remember. Next one is about a clown who falls in love with a princess and has got like adventure park, theme park theming, which I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, you know. It's nice. I always like it when they collide themes together in that sort of way. It's like this is a royalty and a peasant sort of theme is the main motif going on, but they're using it through like an amusement park sort of motif with like a clown mascot entertainer, and you know, like a royal castle in the middle. It was like roller coasters going everywhere and that sort of thing. I was like, oh, you know, that's kind of cool. Anyway, it's like about, I don't know, a clown who's scared to love but also scared to not love. I don't know, something about I guess they did love again. But they got a little like flavor text underneath. Let's see what it says. I've neither the courage to act nor to stand still. I'm truly worthless. Oh yeah, I guess he's torn between that sort of thing. He's too scared to confess because he thinks she's so above him, that sort of thing. And I was like, that's quite nice. Next one's a bit boring. It's about an artist who has artist block, you know, it's #relatable, but it's just, you know, quite straightforward, I suppose. The next one, I also don't, is a bit strange. It's about a firefighter who's, I think what he is he's a cowardly firefighter, basically. And then he sees a child in danger, and it's basically, he's at his breaking point. He doesn't know what to do. And I guess it's about motivating him to rescue the child. And I accidentally closed out the website, and it's not loading again. But the last one, I believe, is an old man who's trying to clean up the city. But people just aren't doing anything, so he spends the day cleaning up, and then people just make it dirty again, and he feels like invisible to the world, or that sort of thing. And then you like help him by like giving him the perseverance to carry on, and then like he inspires some other people to help out, and then they all clean the city together, and it's all like nice. And I remember like some of the, like, it's interesting how some of the abilities tie into their story they're trying to tell. Oh my god, it's been half an hour. I feel like I want to talk about this more. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. Like the old man's level, he's got like his like core power up thing that he's got is like he can turn invisible. But there's a costume which allows you to turn invisible, which, you know, reflects the fact that he feels like he's invisible and has no impact on the world and that sort of thing. People are ignoring him, that sort of thing. He's like, yeah, just please tidy up the environment, that sort of thing. So you can start to see how like there's a heart and soul, sort of a game resting inside this very terrible execution, which is a shame. And, you know, I haven't even gone to the fact that this is clearly a bad game, but this is, and I'm very much on the camp of, I don't want to play a bad game. I would rather just play a good game, but I'm really tempted to play this bad game. It's just really expensive, so I'm not going to play it, but we haven't even scratched the surface of the game. Maybe I'll talk about it some other time, give it a break, but it's so hilarious. And I was just watching so many reviews about it. Anyway, let's round this episode off here. So if you have been watching, thank you very much. This has been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares are all greatly appreciated. Links down below. I hope we can see each other again. But for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye bye for now.